Oh, please stand. And our opening song this morning is Flowing.
With the Spirit of God, I am flowing with the Spirit of God. All I see, do, and hear lets me know God is near. I am flowing with the Spirit of God. I am knowing all the truth that is God. I am knowing all the truth that is God. With wisdom I select, and my thinking is correct. I am knowing all the truth that is God. I am showing all the love that is God. I am showing all the love that is God. Every deed that is kind does return I find. I am showing all the love that is God. I am showing all the love that is God.
The part, we're going to play a video in a couple of minutes. And all of this was set up. You know, I actually had everything done on Wednesday. Vernon was, picking stuff up off the floor. And, I was very impressed, because I'm usually on Friday night or Saturday night, say, oh, these are the slides for Sunday. But I got them done on Wednesday, and I was all ready to go. And the events in El Paso yesterday, and I assume that everyone knows about those events. What happened to Dayton, Ohio?
Oh, yeah. Down in the Oregon district last night.
Mm-hmm.
I think 9 people were killed and 16 were wounded.
Oh, my gosh.
Yes. Unbelievable.
Yeah, it really is.
El Paso at 10:30 yesterday morning.
I don't know about it. We don't watch the news.
Well, I don't either, but he watches enough of it that I pick up. El Paso, a single gunman, went outside of Walmart, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And killed 20, and went inside, inside out. He killed 20 people and he wounded 26. So, and El Paso, I watched a little bit of it. It comes up, and the announcer said, well, we have seen the best of humanity and the worst of humanity today. And what he was reporting on was that they had sent out an urgent message about needing blood for those that had survived. And people are standing around the block waiting to give blood. It's 101 degrees and there's no shade. And they didn't leave. They just stood there and waited for however long it took, which was for some of them hours before they even got inside the building. And when something like that happens, I want to acknowledge it, but I don't have any answers. I can tell you what the stock answers for science and mind are, and I can tell you that in my heart I know that good will come of this. I know it with all my being. And with my heart, it is so sad. It is so sad for those who survived and those who lost people. It's so sad for the city who feels, whether it's Dayton or El Paso, they feel, or at least I think they do, vulnerable and somehow attacked. Somehow they've been hit at their very core. So I was thinking about this morning and thinking, how did I want to acknowledge that? So I wanted us to just take a few moments and do that, to keep in mind those that are suffering. And there are people suffering all around the world. And what Science of Mind does teach, and I do believe it, is that the most powerful thing we can do is hold the knowledge that all will be well. That Spirit's right here. In all of this tragedy and all this pain, it's never not here. And so when I do treatments and prayers, I'm talking about individuals having the experience of comfort and love, and being able to receive it and see it. So,
I wanna add one thing about this shooting of the 9 dead people and the 16 wounded people happened in less than 1 minute. The guy had an AK, I don't even know how to describe the gun, but the police presence was there. And they were able to respond immediately and they killed him immediately.
mhm.
But all of that happened in less than 1 minute. That to me is what makes it so scary. He had on a flak vest, I mean, he was ready, he was prepared,
Mm.
you know. And so, as strange as it may seem, to me, that's a blessing of God that there weren't more people.
Yes.
Because someone was there right away to answer the challenge.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, in Walmart, there wasn't, you
And there
know.
was no one, no.
But it was at a bar in downtown, you know, where on a Saturday evening in the warm weather, there could be a lot of boisterousness going on, I guess. I don't know, but the police were right there, so.
Yeah, yeah.
Tammy, did they take the guy out or did they capture him?
No,
Oh,
they
no,
killed
they
him.
killed him.
In Texas, they caught him.
Oh,
caught
did
They
they?
expect to examine all the things that happened. Police got there within 6 minutes.
In 6 minutes, as Tammy was saying, a lot of people can die in 6
No,
minutes.
no, I'm just saying the
Yeah.
response is
Yeah.
so good, but it's still.
Right.
Yeah. But, you know, we don't have the answers. We just don't. But we do have the love and the care that we can express. So I want to open us with a prayer this morning, and then we'll move on. Spirit, I just open myself to share and to support each person in this room as we support all of those that have been affected by violence, just in this past week, and just in the major things. Violence is so prevalent all around the world, and it does not have to be so. And so we turn, Spirit, to the knowledge that you are absolutely the whole of it and the all of it. And we stand for a world without violence. We know it's possible. We support that, knowing, by calling forth our wisdom and our knowledge and our love, that is you in expression. We stand knowing that you are with and as every person involved in all of this, and that you are pouring out love and comfort to each of them. And we pray that they have the eyes and the heart to see and to receive. We let it be, Spirit. We let it be in your hands, as it always is. We open ourselves to be what would support nonviolence in a world that works for everyone. We know that you will guide and direct us and everyone else. And we just hold the image and the truth that it is possible and that we want to be a part of it. And so we let it be. We know in this moment great hope and great sadness. And we know in this moment great love. And so it is. Okay, so this is going to go from one thing to another. But first, let me light a candle. We light our candle today. We light our candle today in simply knowing that there is a world that works for everyone, and it's coming, and we're part of it. And that there is no place in this world for violence and the kind of suffering that we are seeing in El Paso and in Dayton. So, we light our candle, we stand in love. I always like it when I light a candle and it starts off really small, like it's not going to go, and then the flame just builds. And I always think of it as that love within ourselves and spirit and how it grows and expands. All right, Vernon, hit it. There's no sound in this video.
Oh, I've got that in the talk.
What?
What about
I've got that in the talk. We need to do announcements.
Not yet. This is not my talk.
Well, I don't have it there. I've got to
You don't
read.
have the video there?
It's in your talk. That's why I told you this morning.
So
Oh.
there's announcements first before your talk.
Can we switch it easily, or is it a problem?
Give me a minute.
Okay, we're gonna give you a minute.
You're going to get blinded if you don't move.
I'm gonna get blinded if I don't move. Okay.
'Cause I've got-
Vernon, I think I'll move.
I've got to turn on the screen.
Since we've got time,
Uh-huh.
I don't know, story time?
Yeah, that'll come.
Can I do a story time for another person?
Sure. If you have their permission and it's not invasive.
I don't know that I've got their permission, but they posted it on Facebook.
No, well, hey, you got the permission.
Anybody that doesn't know, Teresa Gibson has been through such hell, excuse my French, but she has been. God love her. She's mowing her grass and she backs up and she trips over an LG&E plate in her ground and she breaks her back. First. Second, she's gotten through all of that hell. She comes to the health club to go through rehab on her own, swimming in the water's good rehab, and daggone it, she doesn't slip and fall down on time. Second help. And I've been going to all these nursing homes, well, the same nursing home with her. So I've been hearing all of her stories and everything. And I just think, I don't know if I could live through all of that stuff. Well, then she loses her job, which she knew was going to happen. But anyway, praying, and I ran into her at the health club yesterday. She has a job
Oh, good.
in Tampa, where she wants to go. Her job starts in September. Here, she does her training. In November, she'll be moving to Tampa. They told her they wouldn't pay her moving expenses. She knows they were gonna be $5,000, so she was a little upset. Oh no, we're paying $10,000 moving expenses. She looked at me and she said, Tammy, I am really a good manifester. And I said, you sure are. So anyway, I just wanted to share that for you all that didn't know. I mean, it's just, I've just been on a cloud nine for her ever since yesterday morning.
Oh, that's
So
wonderful.
I felt like since I ran into her, I was supposed to know and tell you all. And then last night she posted it all on Facebook, so it's all that.
Who's she gonna work for?
So,
Chase.
Chase, yeah.
Good. I was hoping that was true. She works for
And-
Chase here,
Uh-huh.
and so when she transfers down there, and
Yeah.
goes back to work for Chase, then,
And now,
you know.
she's not getting a job increase right now, but her position in banks, they've got numbers for your job.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, her position number's now 601. And she maxed out at her old position number. Well, now she's at the bottom of her new position number.
Wow.
So now she's got room for a lot of raises. So she's happy.
that's awesome.
Yeah, yeah.
It's awesome. Yeah, Vicki?
I was just, she's essentially said it, they let her keep her seniority, which is just awesome, that her seniority transferred from state to state. I mean, that's just, wow, 16 years, that's why they were able to do that.
Yeah, I mean, that makes a huge difference, to be able to do, stay to the same company and let them,
Well, it's such a fantastic demonstration of the power of cumulative prayer. This is one of the reasons why you never give up on the idea that Carolyn just said, good will come of this. Because as we have prayed and prayed and prayed for her, who would have known it would manifest this way?
yeah, that is just awesome. All right, Vernon went that way, so somehow I don't think the
Well, I
video
asked
is
him to
there.
turn the fan off.
Oh, okay.
It's finally, it's getting cool out there now.
Oh, okay,
Is
okay.
that your video behind you?
Yes, that's the beginning of it. So I'll tell you what it is before you watch it, okay? No, you're ready to hit play, aren't you?
I'm ready when
Okay.
you are. I have to
There's
step the
no sound
fan.
to it but all the sound is giggling and laughing and calling across the other people and a lot of smiling and all that. So that's what that is. So if you wondered what was going on sound-wise.
You ready?
You're gonna say,
Yeah,
you're
great.
gonna tell them after what it is?
Yeah.
Okay.
I love that you see a lot of kids, but there's an awful lot of adults there too. How many of you had seesaws on your playgrounds when you were kids? How many of you miss them?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, that's right. That's it, right?
Just a little bit more about the
Okay.
assignment.
That's fine. That's fine. A concept of having seesaws, to connect. A couple of professors picked up that idea, and they designed these seesaws that fit through the walls, one of these walls at the Mexican border. Okay, so they went down there and they put them up, and so the seesaws go through the fence. And the idea that they talk about when they introduce this is they want people to understand that what happens on this side of the fence affects what happens on that side of the fence and vice versa. And to have people connect with each other. And so they get out there, they didn't advertise it, they didn't tell anybody, they just put them up and put them out there and people start finding them. And they have a wonderful time coming and riding the seesaws and connecting and laughing together with people on both sides of the fence. So I just love that as being part of this. What can you do? What is it that you can do to encourage and to promote a world that works for everyone? How can you share something that will bring humor and connection to others? And they came up with this, and it just works beautifully. And they painted it pink, which was great. So I wanted to share that with you this morning. And now, Gordon, I'm going to let you do announcements, and I'm going to sit right here.
We have now, Vernon, I guess announcements and upcoming events brought to you by New Thought.
Well, another.
Well, they
Newton.
changed your name.
New Thought Newton.
New Thought Newton, I got it, yeah.
Rolling right along.
I don't know who this is, dog, whose dog this is or why he is banned from this park. Smoking, okay. But he certainly seems like a lot of fun. But he certainly seems like he's having a lot of fun. He's got a little drink going there and yeah.
Having a glass of wine, smoking a cigar. On a skateboard.
Some of us are slower than us, like me.
That is interesting. Special guest speaker, August 18th. Karen is pronounced Rader. Karen Rader. Okay. Was she here once before?
Oh, yeah. Well, she has spoken once, right? But that's been quite a while back. But she is a practitioner and has been for a long time. And she's come and visited us many times over the years. And she and her husband are moving to a place near Indianapolis, between here and Indianapolis. So, they're not actually moving. They're going to have two homes, right?
Yes,
They're
they're
still
doing
gonna
that.
have all
Yeah,
this.
they're doing that.
Yeah. So, okay.
And so the 18th is the first Sunday that Carolyn can go on vacation. And so that's why she's here today, but.
Is Carolyn on vacation?
It's not actually, well, it's,
What is it
people
taking
call
me?
it vacation when I go to a conference.
Oh.
Ministers call it work. Fun work, but it's still work.
Okay. And
Hey, Miss
Peter,
Vicky.
he picked me up from the power shower.
Yeah, I like the power shower.
And these are just awesome slides. Everything's been well
That's
done.
packed. That's packed.
I mean, you have outdone yourself with the slides.
Okay, August affirmation altogether.
As I turn my face to the sun, my shadows fall behind me, and I am now conscious of my oneness with Spirit and its energy, enthusiasm, and vitality.
Yes. Tell your story. Okay. We've all waited for this one. Who hasn't told a story lately? You don't even have to tell your story. How you're supposed to. And how would we know if it's true or not, right?
If there's a pause, just make up something.
You encouraging us to make.
It's so bad, so
Well,
bad.
it'd be interesting what you make up if you listen to your story.
It's lies during the week and fairy tales on.
Okay, I have one, guys.
Oh, good.
Like,
Come up, teach you to come up.
He's exampling what you should do when you come to the front of the
I'll
room.
tell you what to do. Well, I've been pushing my leading edge for several weeks. Y'all know I've been a runner.
Mhm.
I've done running. I did a run a couple of weeks ago down on the waterfront. But then I got the idea I was going to do a Spartan. Y'all ever heard of Spartan? Okay. Well, it's an OCR, an obstacle course race. Okay. So I went and volunteered 2 weeks ago on a Tuesday. No, 2 weeks ago on a Saturday. Vicki was out of town. I was there, and I worked. We started working at 5 a.m. I worked till 11 a.m. just registering people. And then I was supposed to run at 2. But then they moved me to the kids section, and we were busy until about 2:33, so I didn't get to run. Okay. I took it and went home. It was at Perfect North Beach, or something like that, where the ski slopes are.
Oh, cool.
This weekend, so I found another one to do. Only this time I volunteered on a Tuesday. If you're going to do OCR, don't volunteer the same day you want to race. It doesn't work. I have learned that. So I volunteered last Tuesday, went up. This time it was in Ceramland, Ceraland. It's owned by Cummins Electric. And it's a beautiful park. Anyway, this was called a Tough Mudder. And there it is.
Yeah.
So I volunteered all day Tuesday, then I came back, and yesterday's when I went up. So there's the picture of the Tough Mudder. There I am, getting ready yesterday morning, about 7:30. And here I am, getting ready to go to the start line.
Love your hair.
There's about 200 people every wave. Okay, if you ever done an OCR, it's awesome. And to go back to what we were talking about, people are people. I mean, I went there with no team. You're supposed to have teams and people. I was by myself. But every obstacle you run into that you need help, someone will always give you a hand. It's always just help. This is the course that we did.
Oh, good Lord.
8.3 miles.
Oh, I would jump there.
Long before 8.3 miles.
The start line, it's somewhere there, and then go, that's the first obstacle, which was called Kiss of Mud. Basically, you just crawl through under a fence, barbed wire, like you see the Marines do, through the mud, on your hands and knees.
Oh my gosh.
Then you went, and that was mile 1. And then you just follow it along. That's a water stop. But the good thing was, I am 57 years old, and I attempted every obstacle out.
Good.
I didn't make every obstacle. There was one that really got me called Mount Everest. And if you ever seen a half pipe when you're a skateboard,
Yes.
you're supposed to run up there and jump and grab, and then they kind of pull you up. So we had people trying to pull me up, and I'm not there, and I'm not there, and the water slipped. So you're trying to do this, and I mean you walk 30 feet up, holding on. Now you depend on someone you don't know. And several people, you're trying to do that, and you know, you just, okay, it's not going to work. At one point, they had me this way and had me holding my feet, had me upside down. So anyway, they said, okay, we got to take a break. So I slid back down, so you kind of roll over and kind of slide down on your butt. So then you come back, and you wait, okay, don't try one more time. Run up and try again. Here I am pulling and pulling, and we're just tired at that point. This is over halfway at that point, or right at halfway, so we're at 5 miles. And we were tired, and we just didn't have the grip strength. I didn't have enough grip strength to pull myself up. So, grip strength I got to work on. But anyway, it was an awesome experience. The other thing, if you see me moving kind of slow or drunk, the very last obstacle was electroshock. So they, well, you've seen this.
I don't know what you're going to say, but I think I can say go ahead.
It's a whole bunch of wires hanging down, and I'm sure it's hooked to DC, okay? And you run through it. Only the mud, because you're running through mud everywhere, it's probably this deep. So people are losing their shoes. And as you get shocked, you fall. And then you kind of drop. Well, I got through the first one. They yelled hay bale. You have to go over your farm, but hay bale. And I took a good splat right in the mud. Got my eye. So yesterday, I couldn't see. Today, I'm able to open it a little bit more. But you'll see me pop out here quite a bit trying to go. But I was able to set up, so it was a good thing. But anyway, just the teamwork, it was awesome, the teamwork. People yelling no on every obstacle. I mean, they were helping me up fences, and I was helping them, crawling through tunnels. I mean, I'm not a big water person, especially when you crawl through it, and there's a gate above you, and you have to do this, and breathe, and kind of float under it, and you can't breathe, and you know, you've seen shows. That's what I did yesterday. Anyway, that's my story.
Woohoo! Wow!
Very impressive, sir.
We Ubered in this morning because he is not listening.
Yeah, I couldn't. I drove home, but it wasn't a good experience.
Anybody is going to St. Matthew's Way, you can wait for us to be able to shut down. We will then not Uber back home. If no one's going that way, we'll Uber back. It's not that bad, but I'm just saying.
Okay. All right. Bob, would you hand me my drink? I think it's on the
I'm
floor there.
glad to wait for you, but I'm not in my regular car. So this car does not have a lot of room.
Oh, we'll figure that out.
Okay.
No, we can, if you were close.
Oh, okay.
Well, thank you.
Okay.
I'm just careful not to drive right now if I don't have to.
And Vernon, number 1 would have been enough for me. I would have known God was telling me this was not. Just the first one.
I know. 30 years ago, I might have.
I just can imagine there's a bunch of young guys out there, but there was a bunch of us older ones too. We were kind of sticking together, the older ones.
I would like to see one though.
Yeah.
I've got pictures, but they haven't come up yet, so.
Thank you. That's funny.
If y'all are ready for the reading.
Come on up.
You're up, Beb.
My son. So the reading is a little bit different today, and it's to introduce a new aspect or corner, like the family corner, but this is a new aspect of our constant comment weekly information. And thank you, Pat, for the intro. There's a lot going on all over the world today. And Centers for Spiritual Living, of which we are a part, is active, vocal, and involved in the impact. We as the board and the practitioners believe that keeping you abreast of some of these initiatives from our home office is a good thing. So to help with that, we're adding a section of news from our home office that's going to be entitled Centers for Spiritual Living Worldwide, Living the Science of Mind, to our weekly Constant Contact update. Therefore, we'll forward the news, the prayers, the high watch opportunities as they become available to our ministers and our practitioners. And we wanted you to be aware of this so that you could watch for it. Today, I will read you the first installation of that just appeared when you received it this past Wednesday. And if you were like me and you didn't get all the way down to the bottom, you might have missed it. During many moments of history, faith leaders have been responsible for causing significant and beneficial change toward those who are experiencing inhumane, unkind, and unjust conditions through conscious, peaceful actions. We have many examples of power throughout our recent history. Gandhi, Mother Teresa, His Holiness the Dalai Lama, Dr. Martin Luther King, along with public leaders such as Nelson Mandela. As students of philosophy of Ernst Jones, we know that we treat and live our feet. Recently, our faith community and the LCL Home Office took part in a groundswell of voices and actions to take a stand of what is right, just, and humane at our borders. This past Monday, July 29th, a group of 400 plus faith leaders, including a group of our own LSL, CSL, let me try one more time, ministers stood up for humanity on Moral Monday in a peaceful, nonviolent action called for by Dr. William Barber at the detention centers located in El Paso, Texas. Your CSL corporate leaders and other CSL community members united in prayer and consciousness with those faith leaders and held high watch for a resolution that is for the highest good of everyone involved. And we know that safety and love permeated this experience. Together in individual and collective actions dictated by our consciousness, we embodied the qualities of inclusivity, wholeness, safety, love, and peace for all those that are at our borders. We remembered the following two sections that come from our own CSL Global Vision. We envision a world where personal responsibility joins with social consciousness in every area of the political, corporate, academic, and social sectors, providing sustainable structures to further an emerging global consciousness. We envision a world where each and every person has enough food, a home, a sense of belonging, a world of peace and harmony, enfranchisement, and justice. And so it is.
I never know whether to clap or, do that hand thing. Okay. It is 11:08. I normally stop talking at 11:10. So speed up your ears. We're going to cover 20 minutes. No, we're not. But I was thinking about what we could do in a reasonable amount of time. I am open to questions if anybody has that, and then to share a little bit about what we'll talk about next week. Does anybody have any questions about what's gone on so far? And yeah, Gordon?
I have one it's a reoccurring question, so when anybody asks me, ask your question, I've got the same question, it seems. And that is, I think I spoke briefly in here one time about asking if, for example, people chose the family they were to be with, and part them to grow. So I think, is it true that it's possible that pets have done the same thing? But let me phrase the question this way, though, because that's more like a yes/no again. How do we know? How does one know when something is happening to stop you from doing something, or if there's a barrier put in your way and you're supposed to push through it because you are now able to, perhaps, or not? I don't know what the outcome. How does one know the difference between that? Is it more of an alignment kind of thing, like whatever else is happening around you and to you, or what?
I had several responses as you were talking about, and let's go back to the first thing about, do we choose the families that we were born into? You can hear both sides of that, and as far as I know, Ernest Holmes never said one way or another. He did say we had choice to come. We did have, as we came forward into this time, into this life, that it wasn't thrust at us or forced on us, that we were part of that decision making. So, and I've heard a lot of different things about, we have a group, and I come back to this quite often, we have a group of souls that are in relationship to each other and have been for thousands of years possibly. And they take turns coming in and doing things, but that's based on reincarnation. And you have to know how you feel about that. And that's another thing that Ernest Holmes never talked about. The only thing he ever said was, I can't imagine why I'd want to come back and do this again. The creativity is so broad and so wide, and there's so much else to experience. Why would I come back here and go through, the same thing, same types of things again? But it's whatever your understanding is of that. But having choice to come into this world, yeah, I think we do. Now, as far as how to push through when you are thinking that you need to do something and you're getting resistance to it, one of the things that can be very helpful is to ask yourself, where is the resistance coming from? Someone that comes to you with an investment opportunity and they say, this is how much you have to invest, and you have that much. And this is what the returns will be, and they sound really, really good. And yet you don't do it. And so you keep thinking about it. It sounds like a great deal, but there's something about you that just will not write that check, will not move forward. And so you get to ask yourself about that. And one of the things is, the more you get to know yourself, the more you'll know that sometimes what you're doing is saying, I can't be rich. I can't. No, if I had that much money, I could retire, and I wouldn't have any place to go in the mornings. And there's something deep inside of you that either says, I'm not worthy to do that, or it's going to demand something of me that I don't want to give, or it's just so outside my image of who I am. Does that make sense? And if you go to that and you can't think of any reason why you are fighting it that you can come up with, then you ask yourself, does it feel like Spirit's trying to tell me something? And you just kind of sit with it. You don't have to have an exact answer, but you just open yourself up to let Spirit speak as Spirit speaks in and as you you know, I always say these things, and then I think, well, I need to go back and talk to him about it. We're all spirit, we're all, you know. But for us to learn and grow, we have these divisions, we have language to deal with. So you listen to your heart, and you say, okay, what is it that? And a month later, somebody comes to you with even a better deal. And you think, whoo-hoo, I'm glad I kept my money, because this really is a good deal. And so that might have been spirit, probably was, that said, oh, wait a minute, I got something better for you. So does that help? Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, and do pets pick you? I think so. Oh, I think, yeah, I see. If they don't pick you, they certainly reflect you. And I think a lot of people, you know, they've had a pet come into their lives from strange ways, and that pet was meant to be there. And whether it's a dog or a cat or whatever, that it is part of your journey, and it is meant to be there. So, yeah, Vicki.
So how many of us can imagine that the pets choose, but maybe we don't, I mean, we choose to come there, but you were saying we do choose to come, but do we choose our families? So if our pets choose our families, then I'm thinking probably we do too.
Yeah, and I think we do. I think there's an intention when we come back. But this is, you know, I can't quote Ernest Holmes and say this is, you know, but from reading about him and studying metaphysics and all of that, that there is something that when we decided to come, that we wanted to do, that we wanted to experience, that we wanted to have, that we wanted to heal, that we wanted to let go of. And so we came to this life to do that very thing. Sometimes it's okay, and sometimes it hurts like hell. Okay. All right. Okay. Anything else? All right. I have handouts. Are you amazed? I am. I don't usually do handouts on Sunday morning, but Maimonides is very interesting. I'd never heard of him before that I can remember. And so I've been reading the book, The Secret Life, and what he talks about that. And we were going to talk about charity today, but we don't have time to cover that. So we're going to move that to next week, and we're going to talk about his approach to charity. One of the things, whoops, you want to grab that for me? I love this quote by Abraham Joshua Herschel. If one did not know that Maimonides was the name of a man, one would assume it was the name of a university. Yeah, he's had so much knowledge, and he shared it in so much faith. And it has had such an influence. He's one of the few philosophers that is respected and quoted and studied by both Islam, Christianity, and Judaism. Now, he was a Jew, but Christianity respects him and, you know, has resonance with him, and so does Islam. And his principles of faith: I believe with perfect faith that the Creator, blessed be his name, is the creator and guide of everything that has been created. He alone, or it alone, has made, does make, and will make all things. You see anything that fights with what we believe? No, I don't either. I think that's a lot of sporting. So the handout are his best known quotes. And one of the ones that many people say that he was the one who first came up with, and then other people say other people did. But you all have heard, if you teach a man to fish, if you give a man a fish, you feed him for a day. If you teach a man to fish, you feed him for a lifetime. And so that's part of his, that's the basic synopsis of his understanding of what charity is all about. Not about a handout. It's about teaching someone how to support themselves, how to have a life that they want to have. So, if you want to take the quote, I would love that. Read through them. If there's something that you don't agree with, be ready to ask me about it next week, and we'll talk about it. If there's something that you think, oh, I like that a lot, be willing to tell me that, and we will talk about that as well. So next week's talk will be, I mean, I got things I want to share, but it'll also be about what do you want to share? What do you want to ask? And what has struck you as being really good? And they're on the back table.
Do you have his years on there, Carolyn? Because that's
Yeah,
also
it's 1200.
right.
So, you know,
Lived in the 13th century.
yeah. So, yeah. And I think that's really interesting. He wrote many, many volumes. And, you know, everything that was written was handwritten. And he did a study of the Jewish law, the Torah, and all the other things that have come about that, you know. And it was 3 volumes. So he was very prolific and very dedicated to what he had to do. He also became a physician when he needed more income, and I'll explain about that next week because we're getting down. But he needed a way to make money to, you know, at this time in his life, so he became a physician. It became such a good one that the Saladin, who was the ruler of that part of the world, had him as his personal physician. So when he did that, then not only did he have income, but he had time. He now had enough time to go back to his writing. So all those things work well. But I don't think y'all want to stay an extra 30 minutes. If you do, let me know, and I'll just keep on talking. Okay. So we will do a short meditation. I'm not sure why I'm taking this time to say it, but we have Social Sunday today. We have everything from carrot cake. It's got a vegetable in it. It's bound to be good for you. And then we have the fixings for salad. So if you can put whatever you want in there. If you don't eat meat, don't put the chicken. If you like a lot of broccoli, have a lot of, you know, whatever strikes you. And we would love to have you sit around and talk with us and just visit, you know, just be together. What? What?
Today being Beverly's last day, we also have a cake.
Oh, yes. I'm sorry, Beverly. It didn't get on the notes. So, Beverly is moving to Tucson, Arizona. It will be much, but you know how people used to go, they moved to the drier climates? Well, that's what she's doing because she'll be healthier there. And so she is very excited, she and Rick both, about the change and all of that. We're going to miss her terribly, but we also know that life, we support her in what's best for her, you know, what is for her. There is a card floating around. I don't think we have to keep that a secret. Find the card and write on it. And this is our celebration of Beverly and Rick and the time that they have been a part of us. And we are so appreciative that you have shared so much with us. Okay. All right. Let's do a quick meditation. And we put our feet on the floor and our hands in our lap. And we get in tune with that hum. And that basis of the hum. And we let ourselves, our minds and our hearts resonate. And we breathe. We set our intention for the coming week, being mindful of this hum that represents spirit, oneness, power, that sings through our lives to inspire and protect and love. You know how they say with a car sometimes, ooh, that really hums. Our lives can be that hum of perfection, that hum of support, that hum of oneness, the hum of love. And we breathe it in. And we know that it is good and very good. And together. And so it is. I think it's, oh yeah, meditation song, sorry. We are holy.
You're taking a new rhythm of this process. I'm the practitioner of the day, so I'm also prosperity. So Miss Pat is going to be my Vanna and walk the baskets around. We gratefully accept your credit card on our square back there. And it's available at the back table and also on the donate button online. And is there anything else I'm supposed to say for the affirmation?
No. The donate button is at lcslonline.org, and it's easy peasy.
Pat has us in training, guys. Our August prosperity affirmation. From far and near, my good comes to me through the unfailing supply of spirit, and I am always ready and grateful to receive it. Yes.
Steve, I danced, but I might end up on the backside. All right.
That was great. Okay. We are grateful for our gifts and offerings. We are grateful for the opportunity to share our abundance with others and to have this place for people to come, to be fed, to be supported, and to be loved. And so we bless our offerings and gifts, and we bless the process of giving and receiving with great joy. And so it is. I was looking at the prayer request, and we're going to talk about health for just the next 2 minutes. Can you imagine that Spirit is sick? That Spirit has a disease, it has an inadequacy, it has something that causes pain to itself? Can you imagine that Spirit does any of those things? Neither can I. And so when I look out at you, I see Spirit. Every one of you is a full expression of Spirit. And as you align yourself with the health of Spirit, your health just blossoms. And so right now, we bless each other. We bless ourselves with the sure knowledge that we are Spirit in expression, and we enjoy perfect health. And so it is.
Hallelujah.
Yeah. We have a closing song.
We'll sing a simple song. I will sing the whole day long. Yes, I will sing the whole day long. I will sing a simple song. Yeah, there we go. I will sing a simple song, a song of hope and love, a song that sings of goodness and knows that there's enough for all to share a loving prayer that raises truth above. Yes, I will sing a simple song, a song of hope and love.
I'm leading that one. Lo is leading this one, and we're doing a round.
I will sing a simple song, a song of hope and sorrow, a song that sings of goodness and knows that there's enough. Yes, I will share the loving prayer that raises hope above. Yes, I will sing a simple song, a song of hope and song. I will sing a simple song, a song of hope and
Way to do that.
Yeah,
If
good.
that worked out, I think.
Okay, all right. I'm going to share a story with you. It came from one of our distance practitioner, Brenda Hornig, and she gave me permission to tell this story. She lives in the Northeast, and she was in Washington, D.C., and she was at a conference, and she left to go to find her car, and she couldn't find it. She's in the wrong parking garage, and she's wandering around and wandering around. Finally, she gets to the other building and says, yeah, okay, this is it, and she's on the 3rd floor. So she goes to the elevator, and the elevator door is open, and she looks and she's, oh, seems kind of dark in there. But she steps on, hits 3, the door's closed, and it's pitch black. There's no light coming around the door. There's no light on the buttons. It is pitch black. And she stands there and she says, okay, you're okay. You're okay. It'll be quick. It'll be quick. She said it was the longest elevator ride up to the 3rd floor she's ever been on. And as she got off of the elevator, when it reached the 3rd floor and the doors opened and there was light and she stepped off, she thought, you know, I am better than I used to be. A couple of years ago or 3 years ago, she would have been banging on the walls and screaming at the top of her lungs, help me, you know, that kind of thing. But this time, through all her training, through all her knowing, through her trust of spirit, she just kept breathing and breathing. And so then she could step off the elevator and swear never to get back on another one that looked like that, but and go home. And so I share that story with you because I love that story. And I share it with you because it shows progress. When you recognize that in yourself, you know, when I can bless the driver that just cut me off, then I have made progress. I'm a better person than I used to be. You know, when someone says something to me that is hurtful, and instead of being, I think, I wonder what's going on with them today. I'm a better person. When I can look out and see you and know I look at spirit, I'm a better person. So I send you forth this day to be a better person. Bye.
Except for stay for
Oh, gosh.